What's up, people? It's your boy Perfection back again. It's been a while now. It's been a long time coming, but I was afraid to post. But I'm back. I ain't afraid to post no more. Check this out. This video here, guys, is about Wait a minute. Wait. This video here is about broken records, my friends. Broken record. Are you a broken record? And are you aware of it? Because basically, you know, my last few videos have been talking about self-awareness, right? Are you self-aware? Okay. Are you aware of who you are and what you're about? And are you comfortable with it? You know? Some of you aren't good people. Some of you are, some of you aren't bad people. You know, some of you are a bit of both or what this or that. But are you comfortable in your own skin? And if you are you self-aware? Because it's important. It's important. It's important to be self-aware. Really important. And the first thing I want to say to people is that, you know, I've already, if someone asks me, well, is a broken record, if I'm a broken record, is that the same as me being broken? No, it's not. Okay. I'm going to go into the story. All I say that if we went back about, let's go back 16, 17 years ago. Okay. I was in a situation where I was living at home with my mother, and there was someone. Let's just say let's use an example of a lodger. There was a lodger there, and the lodger was literally doing my head in, basically. Brought a lot of negative vibes to the house. Okay, and when I was even in my room, the lodger would then knock on the door and come into my room, and I would kind of, the best way to put it to, the most simplest way of putting it to you is that I just didn't like it. I felt like my home, my personal space was being invaded. And what it did is it caused me to then knock on my friend's door. And when I went into their houses, all I could talk about was the lodger. Yeah, the lodger, blah, 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 blah. If I saw them the next day straight after, I'd knock on the house again. And, sometimes it wasn't instantly. Sometimes it would take maybe 40 minutes. But after 40 minutes, I would then go on about the lodger. The lodger. Sometimes I would go around their house and I'd be really positive, but it was short-lived. So after about, say it was an hour, I managed to somehow miraculously do 1 hour positivity. It would then go back to the lodger and negativity. I was a broken record, guys. That's exactly what a broken record is. And I was damaged to the point where I couldn't stop talking about the negative thing that I was experiencing. And it reminds me of a friend the other day, and I will go into it because no one knows who she is, but basically according to her, about 16 years ago, her husband died. She said the husband, I can't remember what it was, I think it was like some sort of illness, that took him, and I am sorry that he was taken at such a young age. But she said this man was everything to her, okay? He was her soulmate. He was Mr. Perfect and all those kind of things. He really looked out for her. He looked after children that never... Remember when I said to you in one of my videos, I'm talking about another man's child. He took on another person's child as his own, He was the perfect man according to her. And then, unfortunately, his life ended early for whatever reason. And I can guarantee you, every year, I wouldn't even say every year, I would say for as long as I've known this woman, I've never once met her and not heard her talk about her husband. Okay, so if we go back to my situation that I'm describing, where I was in a house, remember I said to you that the best way to break someone really is to take away their ability to rejuvenate, is to recover. So if I take away their sanctuary, their safe haven, okay, so in my situation, it was, and this is where it ties into self-awareness. I said if people be self-aware. If you go back to my situation, it did last for 2.5 years. 2.5 years of me knocking on people's door being negative, right? But you got to understand that my comfort, my, I mean, it's not comfort zone, but my place of my sanctuary was taken from me. I couldn't go home, and I couldn't exactly walk in the streets. In fact, this is something I want to get into because this is important. I think I've got into it in my previous videos, but people don't realize just how serious it was. Okay, I suffer from mental health, right? And there are times in my life where people have done some really backstabbing things, and it's affected me in a very big way. So what's happened is that um, sometimes where I've been backstabbed so hard by people, it's kind of put me in this continuously angry mode. And um, there were times back in the day where I was walking the street, and I thought I was walking in the street like this. And I literally did. I thought I was walking the street with my face kind of, walking down the street. I did have issues on my mind, but in the back of my mind, I'm walking in the street with a normal face and normal smile, this and that. I'm walking down the street like that. What other people are seeing is me walking down the street like this. So what's happening is, when I'm walking down the street and people see that look on my face, they're immediately stepping into my path. I'm walking down the street now thinking I'm walking down the street like this, and all of a sudden I'm seeing someone step into my path, walk up to me now, and try to barge me, okay? And at first when I was young, I didn't realize what was going on, okay? After about the 10th time, I then start to realize, wait a minute here, certain people are trying to barge into me on the street. And I tried to figure out what it was. And I think it was only one day where I was working at a particular job where I was experiencing a lot of problems at the time, actually. And I walked into the bathroom and I looked up at the mirror and I saw this face staring back at me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't feel that way on the inside. I don't feel that way. Sorry, I don't feel that way. Yeah, on the inside, but yet that's my outside face is saying. So there must be something that I'm not aware of, kind of thing. This is why I talk about self-awareness. Now, if we get back to what I was saying before, this particular person, where the lodger, when they took away my safe haven so I couldn't come home, when I was out there walking the streets, because I was in that frame of mind, people were then trying to fight me on the street. So I was in double jeopardy. Regardless, wherever I went, I just couldn't, I couldn't recover, basically. The difference between me and the woman that lost her husband is that she did have space to recover. She did have a home to herself where she could sit back and relax and, rebuild her life again. So, in my eyes, she was more like a damaged, broken record, as opposed to a broken record. She was a damaged, broken record because she had the ability to recover. 15 years later, I've now seen this woman, and again, within 20 minutes, we're having a good conversation, this and that, and then she goes, yeah, my husband, he was such a good man, and he left us young, and there'll never be a man like my husband. Now, the saddest thing about it is that not only is she a broken record where she's talking about her husband, but she's also putting other men down. So now what's been attached to her husband's tragedy, okay, is also been a bit of kind of stereotyping of other men now. Now she's saying, I'll never meet another other, let's say they were Mexican men, she'll say, but other Mexican men are trash. So not only is she repeating the death of her husband, but now she's repeating something extremely negative of it as well. Now she's repeating something that almost comes across as racist or prejudice. She's saying other Mexican men are trash. So this video here is about, are you a broken record? Do you have the ability to step outside of yourself? I always said when I was younger, you kind of jump outside of your own body, and you assess the situation. So if you're in a room and you're saying things and people are responding in a certain way, can you jump outside of your own body and view it from a 360 angle on how people are taking what you're saying and how you're being viewed. It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes it's reflecting on a very deep level, because you're like a ghost now outside of your own body, and you're kind of looking at what people are saying and analyzing their responses as well as their face expressions as well, because sometimes what people say doesn't match their face expressions, and then able to kind of look back and make changes, you know. But in regards to the whole broken record thing, I want people to understand this, that if you are in the broken record, there's many reasons why you could be. It could be someone bullying you at school. It could be your mum or your dad constantly on your back, and that's caused you to be in that broken record situation. Abusive relationship. What else could be? It could be something like debts. If you've constantly got people knocking on your door for debt, then every time you go around someone's house, you're gonna say, "Yeah, man, yeah, damn, yeah." It's always gonna be hanging over your head. You know, is the debt man gonna come tomorrow, and that kind of stuff. So these things can cause you to be in. But if you're like this woman that I was describing, where you do have a safe haven, you do have a place to regenerate, recover, okay, then it may require something like counselling. I think this is something I was going to get into as well, is that, damn, I was thinking about this the other day. Yes. This is the last thing I want to say, is that I was thinking the other day about counselling and how some people like laugh and they take it as a joke and this and that. It's funny to me how people do that, because you got to understand that the worst thing you could ever do is go through life ignorant and stupid. That's the last thing you could ever do. It really is. So it makes me laugh sometimes how people are kind of laughing at this whole counselling thing. What, you're in counselling? you must have really, like, you must have a real couple of screws loose. You must be really stupid, or you're really, you know what I mean, something's really done wrong with you and all of that. It's sad, because that's exactly what we should be doing. If you feel that there's something wrong with you, something deeply troubling you, then you should be doing whatever it takes to fix it. Forget counselling. It could be, you know, I've heard people go to like guru workshops, some people read books. Whatever it is, you should be reaching out to try to change that. So the fact that some people out there are ignorant and stupid and want to kind of try to kind of belittle you because you have the balls, you've grown a pair, whereas they're still walking around in their ignorant kind of dumbfounded, what's the word, what word would I use to describe it, self something, what's the word, guys? Not self preaching, but you know, they're walking around and they are literally suffering, because I've been around a lot, some of these people, and let's face it, guys, they are suffering. There's no confusion to it. They're suffering, okay? And what it is that when they see other people trying to help themselves or better themselves, because they know that once that person receives that help, give it 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that person's going to be, they're going to be stepping up. It may not always be financially, because a lot of times these people will turn around and go, yeah, but you're still in the same job, aren't you? You still haven't earned any more money. And that goes back to, it kind of goes back to someone the other day, for example, guys, let me just quickly, I'm not trying to change subject. Someone the other day basically turned around and said to me, in my videos, I always wear the same shirt. Okay? Now, you and I both know that's not true, that I don't wear the same shirt. But when that person's turning around and they're saying to you, oh, you know, but you're still earning the same amount of money, their ignorance is their ignorance and their stupidity will never allow them to see the bigger picture. This has nothing to do with financially. You're changing yourself. It's not a financial thing. It's a happy thing. It's a peace thing. You now want a complete life. You don't want to be waking up to unnecessary pain or unnecessary suffering if you can do something about that to change that. And when you reach out to these things, it may not always be a financial reward that comes back at you. It could be anything. It could be now you're more social. You're more able to socialize now. It could be something like you're more outgoing now. It could be now you're a better listener. It could be the fact that people are now coming back and saying, damn, I really like this person now, whereas before they didn't. So, you know, forget about all of these people that are trying to prevent you from helping yourself. That's the point I'm trying to make to people, okay? But for some people that are trapped in that broken record kind of relationship where there's not much they can do about it, I do feel sorry for you and I wish you the best. But people that have a choice and that can do something about it, listen to this video, because you don't need to be in that situation. It's your ignorance, it's your one-sidedness, it's your prejudice, it's your racism, it's whatever that's causing you to be in this kind of I wouldn't say a hole, because some of you enjoy being there, but some of you don't. Some of you don't have that many friends. Some of you aren't really loved or cherished by people, and some of you are feeling sorry for yourself all the time when you're to blame. For those people, I say stop being stupid. Learn to listen and do something about it, and don't put other. If you don't want to do anything about it, that's fine. But don't put other people out there that have recognized something in themselves and are trying to make a change, because you come across looking like an idiot. And if you're in a room with me, I will psychologically expose you and tear you down. I'll do that. If you want to play that kind of negative game where you want to prevent people from progressing, succeeding, because maybe you think there may be levels above you after they succeed, then, you know, try that crap with me. That's what I'm saying, okay? We're here to uplift each other, because if we're not, then we're bad-minded people. It's as simple as that. Thank you for watching, guys. I will see you around for another video. The next video will be called predictable bad versus predictable good, or evil intelligence versus good intelligence, because a lot of people don't realize the difference. Okay, see you around. Peace.